Today we'll start what is called as the rigid bodies. This is my second class. In the first class, we have discussed the syllabus of the BSc first year physics, first sem physics, and the model question paper of the first sem physics first sem. Now we will start my chapter is called as the rigid bodies. That brief introduction that I have given in the last class, what is rigid bodies? Let me repeat. The rigid body is a solid bodies. Okay. So any kind of force, the shape of the or size of the body will not change. That we will call it as a rigid or the rigid bodies. It means if you apply a force to the body, the shape or size of the body will not change. All the particles in a body will be in contact. Okay, so that we call it as a rigid bodies. Okay, so when you apply a force in a rigid bodies, so body will tries to move. Body will tries to move or body will take the motions. If a body is fixed for a axis, body is fixed, say like this. You fix a body for somewhere, then apply a force, body will not move but it rotates or revolves. Okay, we will fix the body, that rotation, when it takes a rotations, that we call it as the axis of the bodies. Body takes a rotations or revolutions with a fixed axis called as the axis of rotations. So, for example, fan, rotating fan. This is the example, or a pulley. Okay, then we call it as wheels. Can also take a wheel. These are the axis of rotations. Then, if you have a axis of know the axis of rotations, then in the rigid bodies, in the entire this rigid body chapters, we will calculate what is called as the moment of inertia of the different bodies. So, we will go on calculate moment of inertia of a different bodies one by one. Before calculating the moment of inertia of the bodies, rigid bodies, then what is moment of inertia? So you know the Newton's laws of motions. Okay, Newton's laws of motions. What is the law of motion? Newton's law of motions. If you know the Newton's law of motions, it's very easy to define what is moment of inertia. So the laws of motion. What is the laws of motion? A body is said to be at rest or continues to be in motion unless an external force is applied. It means body is always at rest or body is always continues to be in the motions unless an external force is applied. So we will divide this Newton's first law into two. One is body is to be at rest. So it is called as the inertia of the bodies. We call it as a mass. The inertia will not change unless if you apply a force to the bodies. When you apply a force, so body position of the body changes. This is another kind. So one is rest, another is motions. So rest is called as inertia, so another is called as force. If we takes a motion means force must be applied. Force and the inertia, like that. So if you have a larger mass, the larger force is required to move the bodies. The inertia, what we have, says matter contained in it is called as inertia, that is mass. For a rotating or revolving body, that we call it as linear motion, rotatory motions called as angular velocities. The coefficient of inertia is called as the moment of inertia. What is moment of inertia? The coefficient of inertia in a angular velocity is called as the moment of inertia of the bodies. So, to calculate moment of inertia of the bodies, okay. So, let us consider a rigid bodies. Okay, I will consider any size or shape. One, we will consider a bodies that I have taken. This is a body, a rigid body of mass m. Okay, so the body consists of number of particles, n number of particles in the rigid bodies. We have the mass of the particles, say m1, m2, and m3 I have taken. Only 3 I have taken. m1, m2, m3 are the particles in a rigid bodies. With the axis of rotation of this particle, m1 is say r1, and m2 is r2, m3 is r3. This body is fixed with a axis y dash. Okay. So hence, if we have a axis of rotation here, the particles rotates with a different axis of rotations of radius r1, r2, r3. Then what will be the kinetic energy of the particles moving with a linear velocity, not angular? So particles takes the velocities. So the kinetic energy of the body can be given by kinetic energy with a velocity, linear velocity v1. Kinetic energy of the particle is say 1/2 half mv square, m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square plus half m3 v3 square, so on. So if we have a n number of particles in the bodies, then what is v is, for angular velocity, v is r omega, because v is r omega. Radius with angular velocity is called as a linear velocity. V is equal to r omega. Angular velocity remains same. Angular velocity is same means it r omega can be written as r1 square omega square, r2 square omega 2 square plus half m3. This v3 can be written as r3 square omega 3 square, and so on so forth. If angular velocity remains same, take this angular velocity omega square outside, half omega square, and what we have here is r1 square, r2 square, r3 square, that I have written. That is m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square, and so on so forth. This I have written as it is half omega square. This is nothing but sum of the individual particles of mass m1 r1 square, m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square plus so on so forth, can be written as summation m r square. Summation m r square. This half omega square into summation m r square can be written as I. This I is called as the moment of inertia of the bodies. That is I, where I is summation m r square is called as the moment of inertia of the bodies. So it is a product of, can have summation m means the sum of the particles, mass of the sum of the particles in a rigid bodies m. R square is the distance of the square of the distance between the particle and the axis of rotations. That is summation m r square. So if you want to calculate, we have this same summation. What is I is equal to what we write? Summation m r square. Okay, so summation m r square can be written as summation m r square. M I will take this m, and this r square is r1 square plus r2 square, r3 square, so on so forth. This is the same moment of inertia is equal to m. This summation r square can be written as like this. Hence, this is m, and n number of particles in a body can be written as r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square, so on so forth, divided by n, because I have taken n. So, n number of particles in a body is n number of particles, and this is the mass of the particles, gives total mass of the whole bodies can be written as capital M. Capital M is the mass of the bodies, and this is nothing but k square. This is nothing but the k square. K square is equal to where? Therefore, k square is equal to r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square, so on so forth, divided by n, or k is equal to root of r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square, so on so forth, divided by n, is called as the radius of gyration. Hence, k is called as radius of gyration in terms of distance, that is centimeter or meters. The radius of gyration is nothing but square root of, root of r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square divided by n is called as radius of gyration k. So, moment of inertia can be written as m k square. It is a moment of inertia of the body, is a product of mass and the radius square of the radius of gyration. Radius of gyration is the effective distance between the particle or body to the axis of rotations. This is called as the moment of inertia. So this is what is called as the moment of inertia of a body. This moment of inertia of the body, different bodies are that can be calculated in the regular or next class. Okay, we'll study one by one what is called as the moment of inertia for different bodies. Okay, that we will continue in the next class. If you have any doubt in this or any in the future classes, you are free to ask questions, or you can call me at any time, no problems. Okay, thank you. That we will continue in the next class.